Welcome to this presentation on soft skills presented to you by Career and Transfer Services. It's important to emphasize that hiring managers are looking for candidates who have both hard skills and soft skills. They are looking for candidates who not only have the technical skills to do the job, but also the soft skills to be able to work well with others. Hard skills are the skills that you learn through education, training programs, certifications, and even on-the-job training. So what are soft skills? Well, soft skills, on the other hand, are interpersonal skills. We also call those people skills. I'm going to provide to you a list of the most valued soft skills employers want their employees to have. Communication skills are those that allow you to effectively communicate with others through either a conversation or in writing. We also have nonverbal communication skills, which we will talk about in a later slide. Listening skills are important because you need to process what the speaker is saying so you can respond appropriately. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and imagine how they feel. This is a good skill to have because you will be working with people who are probably going through something traumatic and will need someone like you who takes into consideration the situation that may cause behaviors that are not typical of the patient. A positive attitude while you are on the job is very important because it helps you cope better under stressful situations. You may be aware from previous experience that your attitude affects your production while on the job. You want to be efficient, you want to be productive, you even want to be successful. And so a positive attitude can set you up so that you are successful in your career. Motivation allows management to meet the organization's goals, and you can actually be a leader to help increase productivity. You have to be motivated and you have to be focused when you're working, so be sure to keep your goals aligned to your employer's goals. Conflict resolution is another important skill because you will be often in need to resolve situations, which we will talk about in a later slide in this presentation. An employee who has problem-solving skills is able to demonstrate a wide range of competencies such as logic, creativity, resilience, imagination, lateral thinking, and determination. Time management is important because it allows you to accomplish more in a shorter period of time, which lets you take advantage of learning opportunities. It also lowers your stress, it helps you stay focused, which will lead to more career success. Flexibility in the workplace includes the willingness and ability to respond to changing circumstances and expectations. Emergencies can happen at any time, sometimes when you are least prepared. In your role as an EMT or paramedic, most times you will be working in unstructured environments, unlike the classroom. You must be prepared to switch over from handling routine calls to attending life-threatening emergencies with little to no notice. So you must be able to cope with situations that you may find stressful, distressing, or even dangerous. And you must ensure that the patient is a priority at all times. So being flexible when it comes to work is considered valuable. Employees who approach their job with a flexible mindset are typically more highly valued by employers. Critical thinking is a characteristic you will find in many job descriptions. It's the ability to analyze a concept objectively while you consider the facts and different perspectives in order to reach a sound, logical conclusion. Research has shown that the effectiveness of teamwork leads to greater productivity, more effective use of resources, and better decision and problem solving, better services, and increased innovation and creativity. Working as a team is necessary on every emergency call because there will probably be multiple agencies on the scene. So whether it's the police, fire, or some other agency, you must always coordinate efforts and work toward achieving the best outcome for the patient. You're going to need to have negotiation and persuasion skills because you will be working with patients who you may need to either help reconcile differences or persuade a patient to change their mind or their behavior. Let's go back to hard skills for a moment. With hard skills, you can take a test or someone can watch you perform a task, and either you can do it or you can't. Soft skills are required over time or acquired over time, and they are harder to evaluate. So take advantage of your training and always keep in the back of your mind that you are strengthening your soft skills for your career. The more you practice how to insert an IV or secure a patient to transport, the better you get, right? Well, the same thing holds true for your soft skills. The more you practice communicating, thinking critically, and using other people's skills, the better you will become. So, what do you think the percentage of recent graduates lack soft skills? Would it be 25%, 50%, or 75? 50% of recent graduates lack soft skills based on a recent study that I read. It revealed that 4 in 10 corporations and almost half of academic institutions believe that recent graduates lack certain soft skills needed in the workforce to be successful. So why are soft skills so important? Well, soft skills are important to the success of almost all employers. It's actually pretty high on the list of skills employers claim are missing from today's workforce. In fact, employers are more concerned about your soft skills than they are your GPA. I want you to realize how important it is to be able to communicate with others. You will be working with the public every day, and it's imperative that you are able to communicate so you can effectively care for your patients. Transferable skills are skills that you may have acquired in a different job not specific to the position you're applying for now, but could be used in that position. Transferable skills can be used regardless of the job the person is working. For example, maybe you had to deal with a difficult customer who was unhappy with a product or a service while either working at a fast food restaurant or even a retail store. You probably had to use conflict resolution skills to make the situation better. This is a soft skill that can be transferred into the position you are applying for now. Another example would be time management skills. You may have had to have met deadlines at a previous job, such as stocking shelves or balancing a cash register drawer. And so you had to make sure that you managed your time to get the job done before you left for the day, or even perhaps before the customers entered the store. So those are a couple of examples of how your skills can be transferred into other occupations. People with soft skills are often seen as having unique and broad backgrounds, which is considered to be an asset. So it's a good idea to make a list of your soft skills that you believe you have. And if your list is short, then you may want to consider what you need to do to work on that list. I'm going to post a link of soft skills for you at the end of this presentation, and you will also have an opportunity to complete an assessment of the soft skills you may already have. Soft skills cannot be learned in the traditional sense. So in other words, you cannot sit in a classroom and just learn soft skills from a book. It comes from within, but with practice you can improve. Soft skills are crucial for patient-based occupations such as emergency services. EMTs and paramedics will often be in direct contact with patients under high stressful situations. Patients, family members, and even bystanders often let their emotions get in the way, which would make it difficult for you to do your job. So good communication, interpersonal, and instruction skills are essential to calming everyone down and getting on with treating the patient or the patients. So which is the best example of using soft skills? Robert speaks to a patient in a soft, comforting tone to help ease the patient after an accident. Donna correctly administers CPR and saves a patient from serious repercussions. John places equipment in the emergency vehicle before leaving for the day and checks it off his list of duties. If you chose Robert, you are correct. Robert is using his communication skills and probably empathizes with the nervous or distraught patient. Donna and John are showcasing their hard skills. All right, so here are some tips for highlighting your soft skills. The first thing that you want to do is you want to make a list of all the soft skills relevant to the job. Then you want to compare your list to the job description. And you want to be sure to add the skills that you have that match the job description to your cover letter and your resume. I went online to ohiomeansjobs.com and searched for EMT and paramedic positions because I wanted to see what soft skills employers listed in their ads. As I mentioned earlier, they are looking for candidates who have interpersonal skills and communication skills. They are also looking for candidates with exceptional customer service skills and the ability to adapt well to different situations. Another way that you can highlight your soft skills is during your interview. And you can talk about specific situations where your particular skills were used by giving examples. Let's say that you want to talk about your ability to work as part of a team. So you can talk about a time where you have maybe responded to a call and you and your partner were first on the scene, and then you had to assess the situation. You determined which patients were a priority, and then a second crew arrived on the scene and you were able to brief them on what's going on, so that way everybody could tend to patients accordingly. Be sure to give examples, specific examples with a story. That will make your description much more meaningful. There is a method that we have. It's called the STAR method. So this would help you create the scenario for them. First, you want to list the situation, then talk about the task, and then you want to talk about the action that was taken, and then finally you want to discuss the result. So with the example of the crew that you had to brief, you could talk about the situation. Maybe it was a drug overdose or something like that. The task, what you did, the action you briefed, and then the result, everybody was taken care of and transported to the to the appropriate hospital. You will also have an opportunity to demonstrate your soft skills during your interview. You want to be sure to offer a firm handshake. You want to use appropriate eye contact and good posture. Let me repeat the first one. A firm handshake. When you shake someone's hand, you are doing much more than saying hello. You're saying, "This is who I am." It immediately sets the tone for any meeting. In fact, when John F. Kennedy was running for President of the United States, he commissioned a study to determine the most effective handshake. The study found that the most effective handshake was the double handshake, and this is where your left hand is placed under the right hand to cup it and cup the clasped hands. But if you don't feel comfortable with the double handshake, just make sure that it's at least firm. A soft handshake or a soft grip sends a message that you're weak or you're insecure. A firm handshake shows confidence, enthusiasm, and commitment. Be sure to look the person in the eyes when you're shaking hands. You want to have strong hands. However, it does not give you the right to crush the life out of someone else's hands because that could send the wrong message. Just like a weak handshake sends the wrong message, so does a bone-crushing handshake. And I'm sure we've all had that experience at some point, and we all know that that is not very fun. You want to remember that nonverbal skills are considered communication skills, which I mentioned earlier. Um, those are also soft skills. Eye contact is another important form of nonverbal communication. If you're looking down when you're speaking to someone, you're telling the person that you may be shy, you may be nervous, or even possibly untrustworthy. Eye contact tells the interviewer that you are engaged and interested in the position. Being friendly during your interview will show your ability to interact with others. Showcase your listening skills by paying attention to the interviewer and responding with appropriate comments. So, which example best demonstrates soft skills during an interview? You want to explain how to assess a patient, show your enthusiasm and excitement about the position, or discuss your physical fitness routine. You want to show your enthusiasm and excitement about the position. Employers want a candidate who is sincerely interested in the organization and passionate about what they do. Put all your energy into your interview and don't give the impression you're indecisive about that position. All right, so what are employers looking for in a candidate? I met with a couple of chiefs in the area. One was a fire chief and one was an EMS chief. And I had real candid conversations with both of them. And I asked them, what are they specifically looking for in a candidate? Well, this is what they told me. They told me that they want someone with a strong work ethic, someone who is going to jump right in and work as part of a team. An example that the fire chief gave me was that he at one time had seen somebody walk right past his captain who was rolling up a hose, and he would have preferred to see the employee stop and help him rather than just walk by. And, instead he didn't help him out, and that was discouraging for him. So you want to be sure to demonstrate you want to be part of a team and you respect your colleagues and your superiors. You have to have a drive and you have to have a determination to work. You have to look at this as a dedicated career and not just a place where you go to earn a paycheck. Professionalism is crucial. Be competent in your position. You're training to be a public service provider, so be sure that you're reliable, you're honest, positive, and you're supportive. You need to have integrity and respect for others. You also want to look for ways you can improve your skills so you are up to date with the latest trends for your field. Another part to being professional is simply being professional. What I mean by that is you have to remember you're your own person and you have to be your own advocate. In other words, you cannot have your parents, your spouse, or even a friend call your employer on your behalf. Always, always, always call your supervisor yourself to give them a message. Asking your mom to call for you is going to cost your supervisor's respect for you if you do that. You're an adult now, and that means you have to keep your parents out of your work life so you can be successful. So if you have issues with your schedule, you need to speak directly with your supervisor. Or if you are still waiting for a call about a job offer, contact the hiring manager personally, either by phone or email. Refrain from asking your mom or your dad to call for you. Once that happens, you can kiss that job goodbye because I'm pretty certain the phone call will not be appreciated. People need to know how to communicate and have actual conversations with others. The EMS chief who I spoke with was adamant that his candidates have a bedside manner. They have to be able to relate to their patients, which goes back to having empathy that I spoke about a few slides ago. Think about a time when you went to your doctor's office. You probably wanted your physician to listen to you, to be considerate, and definitely use sound judgment when determining your care, right? Well, the same thing holds true for your patients. Which of these behaviors is considered an ethical behavior? Inserting an IV into a patient's arm, taking a patient's vitals, honesty, or driving a vehicle? Being honest, compassionate, and empathetic are examples of ethical behavior. Using an IV or inserting an IV, taking a patient's vitals, and driving a vehicle are all considered hard skills. Okay, so we all have deal breakers and pet peeves that maybe we just can't get past. Well, here is a list of the main deal breakers that the chief said will cut the interview short or disqualify you from the position. Now, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. You can confidently discuss your skills and qualifications, but you do not want to act as though you are the only one who can perform a specific task or complete a project. Acting smug or better than others will have your employer looking for a different candidate. It's important to practice interviewing before you go, because a poor interview can be a deal breaker. It's understandable that you will be nervous, and most employers will try to make you feel comfortable during an interview, but fidgeting, poor eye contact, short yes or no questions or answers would be unimpressive, and you will not be perceived as a strong, confident candidate. I don't think people realize how many employers check social media to find out more about applicants, but they do. Make sure your social media accounts are cleaned up and do not have anything out there that may give an employer a red flag about your character. Remember, nothing out there is completely private. I hope this information provided in this presentation has helped you to understand what employers are looking for in their candidates. I have attached a link to a list of soft skills for your review. And if you would like more information about cover letter writing, creating a resume, or practicing your interviewing skills, contact our office to meet with a career advisor. You can call us at 567-661-2387 or email us at careerservices@owens.edu.